One of the big issues that we face today is in the area of immigration, and there's been a lot of talk on the political level about immigration reform, protecting our borders, what does it mean for us to live in security, and how we understand the whole role of U.S. citizenship. And those are important conversations, and we need to hope and pray that our legislators that talk about those issues well. But I think we have to also look at this from a Christian perspective. And what does it mean for us as Christians to think about immigration into our country and how we respond to it? The European descent peoples, which mostly propagate North America, in every case, every demographic level is in decline. This means that as every year goes by, there are less and less white Anglo-Christians in North America as well as Western Europe. It's averaging around 13,000 less Christians per day in Western Europe and North America. So when you compare that with what's happening in the immigrant communities, it's dramatically different. The Chinese, the Korean, the Latino, these groups are the most likely to either be Christians or become Christians. So the immigrant population, 86% of the immigrant population in North America are likely to either be Christians or become Christians. That's far above the national average that we've ever had in our country's history, actually. So the immigrant population actually represents the greatest hope for Christian renewal in North America. That's what they represent for us. This group that we want to keep out is actually the group that we most need for spiritual transformation. They're coming with a great energy for the gospel, a lot of them. Now, there are, of course, many exceptions, many problems with this, but we shouldn't forget the larger picture of this. America's borders should be safe and secure, but we should also recognize that when we look around the country and see our communities in transition, communities that are increasingly Hispanic or Chinese or Korean or Filipino, we shouldn't see this as something that threatens us. We should see this as a wonderful opportunity because there the church is growing. The African missionaries that are going out, they're actually sending missionaries to North America and Europe. And today the largest churches in Europe are pastored by African Christians, large African churches in Europe. And so when I was in Boston, I was once asked to go down to Boston and preach at one of the big Chinese churches there. So I had not really had a lot of contact with Chinese in Boston. I'd preached a lot in Korean context there, but not Chinese. So I go down to the Chinese service, and I walked into the sanctuary, packed out, hundreds and hundreds of people. I preached the gospel. They all file out. Within 20 minutes, a whole new group was there. Preached to another group. They file out. Third group comes in. We went through 3 services in downtown Boston, Chinatown of Boston, one after the other. And after I finished, I was totally exhausted. I thought I was ready to go home. I preached to probably at least 1,200 people that morning when they said, "Oh, you haven't heard? We want you to preach to the youth service." I go across the street, and there around 2 in the afternoon, it was a youth gathering of Chinese youth in Boston. I preached another 500 there. It was unbelievable. The dynamic nature of Chinese Christianity in Boston. And this is not just one city. I could repeat it around the country. But the point is that we have not really fully appreciated what this community means for Christian growth. I spoke in Philadelphia a few years ago to the Chinese equivalent of Urbana. They have their own Urbana conference. It's a big missionary conference, and I was asked to be a speaker to it, and 3,000 Chinese were there. These are 3,000 Chinese Christians talking about missions and how they can serve the Lord faithfully. So to me, when I think about immigration, I see this as a great blessing to America in the big picture, and seeing this as an opportunity for the church to be blessed by these new Christians coming into our midst.